Alright, CSX, how tomorrow moves. Standard specification for design and construction of private side tracks. Office of Vice President Engineer, Jacksonville, Florida, issued September 15, 2016. Note to user, this manual has been prepared exclusively for the CSX Transportation existing potential customer. These engineers consult with the design construction of the private side track properties owned by the CSA Transportation. The information contained herein, subject to change without notice, and is responsible for the user to ensure the latest version of the being design construction of the private side track. All person entering the CSXT right away during the survey to construction of the side track shall have the following: CSX transportation safety rules, including wearing appropriate personal protective equipment to include safety glasses, shields, hard hats, steel toe boots, distinct seal separation, high visibility safety vessels. Current version of the document may be obtained with the CSX Transportation Industrial Development Department online CSXT website or csx.com. Clicking on Customer and Industrial Development Site Design Guideline Specification issued Office of Vice President Engineering, CSX Transportation Incorporated, 500 Water Street, J350, Jacksonville, Florida, 32202, 2016. Alright, standard specification for the design and construction of private side tracks. Design. Table of contents. Design. A. General. B. Roadbed and drainage. C. Track design. Table turnout. JADA. D. Structures. E. Clearance. F. Crossing. G. Hazard material. H. Design criteria. Table 2. Design criteria. I. Plans furnished by industry. Diagram. Clearance diagrams. All these are diagrams. Standard clearance matrix, roadbed sections, ballast section, roadbed sections, grading of the industrial track turnouts. Number 8, turnout and crossover. Number 8, offset layout. Number 10, turnout and crossover. 10, offset layout. 11 foot, 0 inches vertical lift derail, commercial track, A6406. Loading and unloading combustible flammable liquids or flammable gases. Alright, construction. A. General ties. A. General. B. Ties. C. Special consideration wood composite types. D. Gauge rods. E. Laid joint rail. Table 3. Expansion required joint rail. F. Laying welded rail. G. Spiking. H. Super elevation spirals. I. Surfacing line track. J. Grade crossing. K. Final cleaning. L. Derails bumping position. Bumping posts. M. Gates and fences. N. Inspection. O. Maintenance. The following are diagrams. Main track spiking patterns. Side track spiking patterns. Turnout spiking patterns with the Bethlehem 8011 style braces. Turnout spiking patterns with the Bethlehem boltless style braces. Turnout spiking patterns with the clamped tight style braces. Joint area spiking patterns. Light duty road crossing bodies, concrete and rubber panels. Normal road crossing rubber asphalt timber wood ties. Sheet 1 and 2, normal road crossing asphalt timber and for wood ties. Diagram: normal road crossing asphalt timber wood ties. Sheet 2, bridge approach ties and grading. A. General clearing grubbing. C. Excavation. D. Unsuitable materials. E. Embankments. F. Ditches. G. Finished subgrades. H. Subballast. I. Geotex tiles. P. Pipe culverts. Table 4, corrugated metal pipe specifications. Table 5, elliptical metal pipe specifications. K, erosion protection. L, temporary crossing. P, M, protection and safety of delay of trains. O, access materials. General scope, subballast. Table 6, subballast gradation requirements. D, Table 7, track ballast gradation requirements. E, ties. F, tie plates. G, rail. H, turnouts. I, derails. J, bumping posts. Alright, design. A, design general. Design. The guidelines intended to provide information guidance for the design specification for the construction of private railroad track. They're supporting the roadbed documentation that provided information industry contractors with a varying degree of experience with the design, construction, of private tracks. Information provided with the general specifics should not be considered, but the specification may be used to assist preparation of the specification primary drawings. In general, the industry shall cover the construction of all roadbed, ditches, drainage structures, sub-ballast required for the proposed track, including CSX transportation, ownership of the when the proposed turnout is located in an existing CSX transportation owned track. CSX transportation will normally perform the construction of the turnout. CSX transportation turnout will normally construct, own, and maintain the mainline turnouts portion of the sidetrack mainline turnouts, including the derail insulated joints. Industry will normally construct, own, maintain all remaining track for the CSX transportation owner point of the into the rest of the industry. And proposed turnout located with existing industry-owned track. The industry shall construct, own, and maintain the track. Final ownership of the maintenance points will be determined with the CSX transportation. Shall be described in private sidetrack or agreement that is in the industry shall execute the CSX transportation. Industry shall provide with no cost to the CSX transportation sufficient right of the way of the construction maintenance of the CSX transportation owned track constructed owned properly behind the CSX transportation right of way. When industry's own track is constructed with the CSX transportation right of way, the CSX transportation will negotiate industry with the occupants of the property. Industry shall have the furnished plan, detailed track with the roadbed designs, drainage facility, triple detailed building, loading dock sections, wire pipeline crossings, carpooler details, under track unloading pits, vehicle crossing grade separation, public private. For design clearance approval of the CSX transportation, the preliminary plans shall be submitted as early as possible to avoid potential problems and delays. Industry shall attempt to provide the future expansion during the design and construction of the sidetrack. The CSX transportation engineers are available to consult installation during all phases of the track project. The service should be utilized without any of the questions that may arise. Proper notification must be made with the appropriate division personnel prior to the industry of the CSX transportation right of way to construct the roadbeds and track. Separate right of the industry entry with agreement of CSX transportation will be required to access the right of way. The surveying the preliminary engineering activities prior to the execution sidetrack agreement with the CSX transportation. The construction operation are closer than 25 feet from the center line of the CSX transportation track. A flagman from the CSX Transportation Division will be assigned with the job to site the plot protect the industry with the contract personnel with the CSX Transportation personal property with the industry expense. Flagman may also be required to the activities involving cranes or other swinging equipment that has been potential to enter the following limits for the track. All persons entering the CSX Transportation right away during the surveying construction of the sidetrack shall follow the CSX Transportation safety rules, including wearing appropriate personnel protective equipment to include safety goggles, side shields, hard hats, high visibility safety vests, steel toe boots, and distinct heel separation. RB, roadbed and drainage. Roadbeds width and ditch slopes and shall conform with the current CSX Transportation Standard Roadbed and Ballast Drawings 2601, 2602, pages 19 and 20. State local regulations, codes, and etc. may require increase with the roadbeds of walking for the other purposes. Note that the state of Tennessee requires walkway to extend with a distance of 10 feet from the center line of the track on both sides of the walkway. Level of the top of from the distance is 6 inches. Therefore, after descending away from the center line no greater than 8 to 1 slope, the walkway filled with the ballast should be compromised material with the AREMA gradation number 5. Alright, roadbed and private track. The CSX transportation right away with the parallel main side of the track shall be constructed with a minimum of 6 inches lower than the nearest minimum main siding track. Whenever the drainage of the existing track can be affected with the newest construction, the CSX transportation strongly recommends the private side track be located track center at least 25 feet from the center line of the adjacent CSX track main and siding. However, the private side track leads to other tracks not used. The bulk loading shall not be no closer than 20 feet from the center line adjacent with the CSX transportation main air siding tracks. All turnout locations require additional roadbeds to support the track structure and provide with the proper walkways. The CSX Transportation train crews. CSX Transportation requires the roadbed tamper with the existing section of 100 feet preceding the point of the switch and to 18 feet of the center line of the point of the switch. The 18-foot roadbed is extended with the point of the switch and the transition with the 12-foot roadbed with the diverging track. See CSX Transportation Standard Drawing 2603, page 21. Typical subgrade section grade required at the turnout construction CSX transportation industry of the track. Drainage. To the design of the drainage system, including the alteration existing drainage system of the CSX transportation right of the way of the responsibility of the industry, drainage shall be diverted and directed towards CSX transportation. Increase the quantity without prior approval of the agreement of CSX transportation. All ditches and pipes and culverts shall be adequately sized to carry the drainage without pounding of the water against the roadbed. The shall be based on a 100-year storm. The track roadbed fill shall not be less than used in dam levees or retention water water, nor shall have the CSX transportation right of way to be utilized for retention from the settling basins. All drain facilities must be shown with the drawings submitted to the industry. Pipes and culverts shall conform with the current AREMA recommendations that are American Society Testing Materials specifications. All such structures shall be designed to carry Cooper's E80 loading with the diesel impact reinforced concrete pipe at the CSX transportation track. American Society Testing Methods C76 Class 5 and O-ring joints. Corrugated metal pipe under the CSX transportation owned track shall be field fiber bounded asphalt coated with a sealed polymer prime cremated cream coat. Pre-coated with a minimum 24-inch wide connection band. The minimum recommendation diameter from the pipe under the CSX transportation owned is 36 inches. Extension pipes of the culverts of the drain structures previously installed with the CSX transportation owned track shall be made with the culvert drainage structure having the same size, shape, dimension as the existing pipe. In no case shall the existing drainage structure be extended with the hydraulically capacity and decrease in obstruction. In some cases, it may be necessary to add existing outlets for the pipe or culvert of large size. The detail of the connection to mismatched culvert shall be submitted with the CSX transportation approval. RC, track design, turnout definitions, point of switch, or PS, the point of which the track begins to diverge from another. Point of intersection, PI, the applied turnouts of the point of intersection of the center lines of the diverging track through the track. Point of frog, or PF, the point at which two running rails intersect with the turnout of the crossing. Heel of the frog, the end of the frog is the furthest away point of the switch. Turnouts. A turnout consists of all of the parts of the track structure, including switch point, frog rails, twitch sides, fastening, etc., necessary to connect one track to another. Turnouts are designed for the side of the frog containing the turnout. Turnouts are installed with the maintained CSX transportation is in the track. Must be not more than 10. Must be number 10 or larger. Turnouts installed with the private side track must be number 8 or larger for the industry tracks. Number 10 or larger for the industry-owned lead tracks. Turnouts for unit train facilities must be number 10 or larger. Turnouts installed with the industrial side track shall include switch point frogs. CSX Transportation Standard Drawings, page 2225 of the designated standard CSX standard number 8 and number 10 turnouts. The turnout must be not designed as a simple curve. The table 1 provides dimension for the laying out of the turnout plans using the point of intersection turnout angle. The method of it is simple as acceptable way of representing the turnout on the plans. Locating the conditions, including the curve for the use of long cars, special equipment may be required with the use of large size turnouts. Alright, here you see the turnout geometry. A is long and B is from the point switch point intersection of the CL and CL diverging track lasts a long tie. Number 8 and number 10 turnout. On CSX transportation main track location, portion of the turnout should not be located within 200 feet of the curve of the road crossing rail, bridge, tunnels, and other turnouts. On other tracks, the distance may be reduced to 50 feet if the turnout is located within 500 feet of the bridge or walkway meeting the CSX transportation standards is required to be on the bridge accommodate switching operation. Horizontal curve. The track should be designed with using a minimum degree, maximum radius curve practical special circumstances, including long car special equipment that make the request require less degree of the curvature. Sharp curve that may restrict the size of the locomotive opportunity to provide the timely switching service due to the locomotive restriction, while the maximum curve of a maximum curve of 10 degrees radius of 573.69 feet is highly recommended under no circumstance without written approval of the Assistant Vice President with the engineering design criteria. Construction will degree of the curvature to track exceeding 12 degrees radius of 478.34 feet. Total roads of the core definition of the degree of the curve. The degree of the curve of the essential angle superintended by a 100-foot chord. The degree of the curve is denoted by the DC. Degree of curve DC is denoted as DC. So you have sin times 1/2. The degree of the curve is equal to 50 times half the radius. 50 times the radius. R is the radius of the curve. When practical, all curves shall begin beyond the last switch of the tie, and if required, with the special circumstance of the curve may extend onto the switch ties. In no case shall the curve begin between the point of the switch and the heel frog. The curve shall be avoided with the loading point with the bulk loading facility under the truck unloading structure. Spiral curves super elevation are normally required to the industry tracks, but required with special circumstances should be designed according to the CSX transportation standards. Horizontal reserves curve. The curves following each other the opposite direction shall be separated by a minimum of 100-foot tangent straight sections as specified in design criteria on page 114. Page 14. Grade vertical curve. The track grade shall be minimized where possible, consistent with the terrain requirements. Grade must be carefully designed to ensure the motive power available to handle the tonnage to be moved. This takes in consideration the number of the cars when loaded and emptied. The grade of the unit of the track should be designed so the train under the power with no bunching of the couplers while loading or unloading. Frequently, the changes are to be avoided. Vertical curves shall be provided with all the grading changes. They shall be as long as practical, minimal standard for the calculation. Vertical curves are specified as design criteria. Grade shall be compensated for the curvature of the rate of 0.04% for each degree of the curve. For example, the maximum allowable grade of the 10-degree curve for the load-unload motion track is 1.5%. 1.5% minus 10 times the x equals 1/4 or equal to 1.1% grade of the 10-degree curve. Grades including compensation shall not exceed 2.5% on the industry lead tracks and 1.5% on the unit train tracks and 1.7% on loop tracks. The section of the track where rail cars are provided placed on loading and unloading shall have a 0.0% grade. Neither grade changes or no vertical curves shall be within the limits of the switch size. Alright, derail and bumping posts. CSX Transportation approved the details will be installed at the nearest clearance point of all turnouts existing with CSX Transportation tracks. The CSX Transportation 11-foot, 0 inches vertical with the lifting derail standard drawing 2252 on page 26. The derail shall be placed on the car of the derail away from before the fouls of the track, meaning protected with damage, but building intended to be protected. The point of switch for the switch point derail shall be located no closer than 50 feet beyond the 15 feet clearance point. Note the additional distance may be required depending on the severity of the descending of the grade and the track configuration. A bumping post shall be installed at the end of all the tracks. The bumping post is used for the track end short of the structure, roadway, public area that must be protected for the cars rolling and being pushed beyond the end of the track. It must be an industrial situation. Bumping post offers adequate protection. However, the cars loaded with the empty and rolling being pushed at an excessive speed will not be stopped by a bumping post. Other particular measures should be taken to supplement the bumping post. Wheel stops should be used only to prevent standing for the car from being to roll. The rolling car one being pushed most likely to be will not be stopped with the wheel stop being making an ineffective industry when the cars are typically moved. Either earthen barriers may be used to the mine tracks only. Alright, D. Structures. All bridges, trestle, box culverts, unloading pits, conveyors, or etc. shall be designed under the authority of the licensed professional engineer familiar with the accordance with the American Railway Engineering and Maintenance of Way Association Manual of the Railway Engineering. Latest edition published at arema.org for details pertaining to the manual. Chapter 7, Timber. Chapter 8, Concrete. Chapter 15, Steel Structures on using live load with Cooper's E80 with a full diesel impact. The new bridge construction other than track minimum clearance 23 feet vertical, measured from the top of the highest rail, 18 feet with the top of the horizontal, 9 feet either side of the centerline track. The proposed design, bridges and trestle, box culverts, unloading pits, conveyors, etc. shall be reviewed by the CSX Transportation prior to the construction. Walkaway grading shall be securely fastened to be structurally either piece of the grading fastened to at least 3 bearing surfaces. Crash walls may be required. Overhead structures located less than 20 feet from the center line of the track. To avoid delay of the plan should be forwarded with the CSX Transportation, allowing sufficient time for the review. Design construction of the track scales should be conducted under the authority of the licensed professional engineer within and in accordance with the American Railway Engineering Maintenance for the Way Association Manual of the Railway Engineering or Association American Railway AR Scale Handbook. Alright, E. Clearance. All fixable, movable obstruction above the adjacent track shall be provided with a horizontal vertical clearance required with the applicable state, local laws, regulations, CSX Transportation, current standards, whichever is greater. See the CSX Transportation clearance diagrams, pages 17 and 18. Clearances shall be increased to compensate the curvature super elevation specified. Lesser clearance must be approved with the CSX Transportation appropriate governmental agency, and clearance that CSX Transportation standards shall be considered with the substandard of the close clearance. The CSX Transportation requires signal marking. CSX Transportation employs approaching substandard clearance. The close clearance sign shall be illuminated with the night. The substandard clearance, but the associated liabilities will be noted with the sidetrack agreement. The distance between the adjacent tracks is also subject to legal CSX Transportation clearance requirements. CSX Transportation recommends private sidetracks located with the track center with at least 25 feet from the center line of the adjacent CSX main sidings or sidings. However, the private sidetrack shall be no closer than 20 feet with the center track of the adjacent CSXT main or siding track. The minimum distance of other tracks is shown in the standard clearance matrix. Age 18. Center line of the bulking unloading track shall not be less than 27 feet. Loading and unloading point. From the center line of the adjacent main sidetrack, no portion of the loading and unloading structure shall be closer than 18 feet from the center line of the nearest point of the siding. The above minimum 27 feet bulk of the loading and unloading truck center shall be adjusted upward to accommodate the actual size of the portion of the loading structure between the tracks, and while observing the required minimum 8 foot to 18 foot lateral track clearance, respectively, loading and unloading track and main siding tracks. F. Crossings. Track crossings of the grade. Designs involving one track crossing another grade with the prohibited without written approval of the AVP Engineering Design and Construction. Alright, your roadway crossing of the grade. Road crossing at grade must be designed to provide proper sight and site distances. May require the safety measurement of the automatic grade crossing warning device with flashlight to gauge the triangular sight distance of an envelope maintained 30 feet along with the track, either in crossing 100 feet along the roadway nearest track of the sight distance maintained at the height of 3.75 feet above the pavement. The existing crossing shall be eliminated whenever the possible new roadway crossing is not permitted without approval of the CSX Transportation. In the event of private roadway required with the crossing CSX Transportation owned track must be covered by a separate agreement. Information on the obtaining of the agreement may be obtained with the CSX Transportation website, csx.com. CSX Transportation is unmaintained railroad. CSX Transportation reasonable for the emergency notification signal sign is each of the crossing, if in the public 2 sign with one each of the private, or each of the approach private 1 sign over the cross. Each of the track within part of the yard industry maintaining the railroad is required to place 1 sign at each of the vehicular entrance of the facility. Note that only the dot number is required for the entry, and for the entire only 1 dot number is required for the entire facility. CSX Transportation does not maintain crossing but operates trains through crossings. Then maintaining a railroad must be CSX Transportation 1-800-232-0144. Numbers are noted above. In order to request a new dot number or current copy of the FRA Form 618071 must be completed submitted with the crossing request at csx.com. Email address are recorded and created and logged within the FRA the form and downloaded the FRA website, the FRA.gov. Search for the form F6187071. New track crossing public railroads involving obtaining the permission for the governmental agency having jurisdiction often require the detailed public hearings. Both public-private crossing with the CSX Transportation will confirm the CSX Transportation's canals constructed with the asphalt, timber, flangeway, filler blocks unless the higher type of the crossing, full rubber slab, concrete, etc. is desired by the industry or required by the governmental agency. The material used for the road crossing must conform with the CSX Transportation specifications. Plans of the roadway crossing must be submitted with the CSX Transportation approval. If the automatic grade crossing wearing device is required, the CSX Transportation governmental agency plan for the control apparatus equipment method of installation subject for the removal of the approval of the CSX Transportation and the governmental agency. The entire installation ongoing maintenance for the crossing warning device shall be borne by the industry. Track design must be provided with the proper clearance for the grade crossing. Rail cars and other equipment must be not be left within 200 feet of any of the crossing. Some states statute may require additional clearance requirements. Clearance for the CSX Transportation Industrial Development Site Design or Management for additional details. Alright, stream or public drain crossing complete with the pole of the culvert, bridges, and trestle of the drain structures must be approved by the CSX Transportation. Appropriate governmental agencies require permits obtained before the construction. CSX Transportation required the drainage system to be designed for 100-year storm plans for all the structures shall be bear with the seal of the licensed professional engineer in the state project. Your wireline pipeline crossings. Each of the wireline fiber optic cable crossing running parallel to the tracks owned with the maintained CSX transportation covered with a separate agreement running between the industry and the CSX transportation. The utility installation shall inform the CSX transportation standard for the installation pipeline wirelings, and appropriate with this industry should obtain with the CSX transportation application for the installation of a wireline pipeline crossing parallelism with the CSX.com from dscsx.com. Proper notification must be made with the appropriate division personnel prior to the industry entering CSX transportation right away with the construction of such a crossing. A flagman, when appropriate division, will be assigned to the job site. Project industry contractor personnel, CSXT personnel, engineer, property instruction, and reimbursement information for the flagman will be given through the wireline or pipeline agreement process. Pipeline crossing installation parallel to the track shall conform with the current CSX track standards for the installation of pipeline CSX track standard right away. A pipeline installation of CSX transportation right away with industry expense but must be approved with the CSX transportation prior to any of the construction. The industry must submit the complete plans, all proposed pipelines that will cross lands and tracks owned by the maintained CSX transportation and tracks owned by other sidings and industry tracks, etc. Otherwise, the CSX transportation operates. Alright, wire lines. Electrical power line clearances, both overhead and lateral, shall conform with the CSX Transportation and National Electrical Safety Code. All wire lines in installation CSX Transportation right away must be approved with the CSX Transportation prior to any construction. The industry must submit its complete plans to CSX Transportation standard for the installation wires on CSX Transportation right away with all the proposed wire lines that will cross under the tracks owned, maintained with CSX Transportation, tracks owned on otherwise siding industrial tracks, etc., over which CSX Transportation operates. Fiber optic cable. Underground fiber optic cable installation and longitudinal occupation of the CSX Transportation property may require relocation, lowering, or protective casing installation. CSX Transportation engineering representative will contact the fiber optic company to arrange relocation, lowering, and protecting of the fiber optic cable at the discretion of the fiber optic company. Alright, other crossings. Any other crossing, including but not limited to conveyor crossing, but other over and under the tracks, must conform with the same clearance requirements of overhead bridges, but plans must be submitted with CSX Transportation approval must be covered by separate arrangement. Alright, G. Hazardous material. Loading and unloading stores hazardous material may require special design with the track's minimum clearance, minimum difference from the storage facility, tracking and bonding of the grounding of the track. It may be considered with the designing track handling the hazardous material. The definition of active track. Any main siding or other track owned by the CSX Transportation, any other track over which the speed of the trains or track exceeds 15 miles an hour. Hazardous material. Substance material which has been determined by the Secretary of the Transportation to be capable of posing unreasonable risk of the health, safety, and property of the transport with commercially, which has been so designated under Title 49 Code of Federal Regulation 105 and 172. Terminal location, operation point where the loading and the transfer above the mentioned commodities take place, and transfer, the processing, unloading railroad tanker car into the fixed storage facilities and unloading fixed storage facilities into railroad tank. The term also refers to the process of loading and unloading railroad tanker cars directly into and from tank truck transport trailers. Our transfer point, location point where transfer hose of the apparatus is connected with the transfer vehicle of the device. Alright, your location of the track. Addition of any of the active railroad track to any facility, installation, transfer of them from a tanker car or storage of hazardous material must be taken with the center of the railroad track in question of the nearest boundary of the transfer facility material storage area. Separation distances of the new facility. Transfer points from the PI poisonous inhalation Class 3, Division 2, 1, and 2. All other headed classes must be located 100 feet from the active track. Transfer points for the combustible liquid Class 8 and 9 must be located 50 feet from an active track. Interfering hazardous material of the tanker car storage tank must be constructed so that it effectively permit free flow of the vapors from the tanker car storage tank, positively prevent the escape of the vapors of the air. The vapors must be carried to vent line at a point not less than 100 feet from the nearest occupied building in an active track. Preferably the site shall be located with the ground slope away from the active track. Whenever possible, the transfer equipment shall be placed on the same side of the private track with the storage tanks to avoid crossing under and over the such track. Equipment should be located on the same side of the track as the access of the highway to minimize the crossing side track of the truck providing services. Hazardous material terminals must be sloped and contoured to contain any slip that will transfer the area in addition to the track plans. Any other type of the acceptable containment system that must be installed with the contained spills of material, preventing contamination of underground water resources. Customers must isolate transfer point of the track rail movement during the transfer operation. This shall be accomplished by locking derailing facing point of the track turnout restriction movement in the transfer operations. Storage of load hazard material tanker cars, storage tank of the poisonous inhalation. Class 3, Division 2, 1, 2, and 2 of the other hazard class must be located at least 50 feet from the active railroad track. Swim track combustible liquids class 8 and 9 must be located 25 feet from the active tracks. Bonding and grounding tracks constructed with a handle hazardous materials must be grounded as per CSX trailing number SS500, page 28. Alright, H. Your design criteria. The design criteria to be used on the sidetrack operating speed not exceeding 115 miles an hour listed in the following table. The criteria is not intended for a yard or terminal track, intermodule track, branch, or spur lines, nor any of the track operating speeds greater than 50 miles an hour. Alright, your turnout size. Note that the turnout of the CSX transportation shall be number 10 or larger. Industrial track number 8, industrial lead track 10, unit train track 10. Degrees of radius, you have 12 foot for number 8, 12 degrees, 0 foot, 0 inches, 10 degrees, 0 foot, 0 inches for both 10s. Your radius is 12 degrees, 0, horizontal curvature, 178.34 feet, or your 10 degree, 573.69 and 9 foot, 0.69 feet. Or your tangent between horizontal curves, 100 minimum of 100 feet, maximum grade, top grade, actual compensation curves, loop track. Number 8, 2.5 degrees, 2.5 degrees for number 10. And also number 10, unit train track, 1.5 and 0.7. Your vertical curve, number 8, is 40 times the algebraic difference in grades. Sags 50 times the algebraic difference in grades. Minimum of 100 foot minimum. Your industrial lead track, 10 degrees. 40 times algebraic difference in grade, 50 times algebraic different grades. It sags length at 100 feet minimum. And your unit track number 10 turnout, 400 times the algebraic difference in grades, 500 times the algebraic difference in grades at 100 foot minimum. Alright, plans furnished by the industry. Expedite the review, procedure plans, procedure with the industrial constellation, which should provide with the appropriate CSX transportation avail, office portable documentation format, microstation, along with all the references, supporting file. The electronic files will be forwarded to the USB memory stick of the Viva. Email attachments are subject to 0.5 megabytes for file size. A sheet should be included with a listing of level layers and the use of the description instruction regarding the reference to files. Special cell libraries should also be included with the sheets. A printed plan shall be furnished with the CSX transportation plan request. Plan provided with the CSX transportation should include the track layout, drawing out of the part of the arrangement covering the new track. The drawing shall be convenient scale. It should not be larger than 11 inches by 17 inches. All station dimensions of the plan provided with the CSX transportation shall be placed in the English decimals. Measurement plan submitted in metric will be not reviewed. Planning submitted to the following. Submitted in the industry consultant with the CSX transportation review. The proof of the shall include but are not limited to the following. Plan shall be drawn with the scale shall import the feature of the effective track layout. Prefer scale of the 1 inch to 100 feet, but the minimum of the 1 inch to 100 feet may be used on large projects. Plans show the true magnetic north city of the county, township, state, with other information necessary to locate the site. The plan shall be oriented with the north and top of the right side of the drawing. Track shall be drawn with a single line representing the center line of the track. Do not draw a track showing the rails of the cross ties. Existing tracks shall be designed with a solid line, lightweight. Proposed tracks shall be used with a solid line with a heavy, bold, lightweight track to be removed. Located shall be used on the dash. Tracks to be removed or relocated shall be lighted with dashing lines. Existing location and a bold, solid line proposed location. Show elevations, location, proposed existing building floor, evaluation, docks, loading pads, loading, unloading pad points, under track overhead conveyors, drainage structures, showing distance above the top of the rail, overhead utilities, including company name and the phone number, to show the distance below the top of the rail, underground, and utilities, including the company name and the phone number. Also include the fiber optic cables, the CSX transportation, signal, communication, electronic, wire lines, other facilities adjacent with the track should be stationed at the beginning or the end of each facility. Appropriate property lines proposed in point switch and point where the proposed track that begins with the diverged existing track must be referenced with the distance of the nearest CSX transportation milepost. The reference shall distance from the nearest milepost, including the preference for the milepost, if known. The location of the milepost, direction, and distance for the milepost shall be noted on the drawing. Station shall be provided with the track of the cross of the right of the way. Station measurement along the track center line shall be located at all points horizontal, vertical design. All existing proposed structure station shall be continuously along with the other track of 0 plus 0, 0 at the point of the switch and increase at the end of the point of switch, of which each track will be 2 stations at its own 0.00 station of the track from which it diverges. Sufficient length shall be provided with the track, allow variability of the freight car lengths and for spotting with the track. Curve information for the curve shall include the intersection angle I, degree, curve DC, and radius R, tangent increase, tangent distance T, external E, and length of the curve L. The core definition of the curvature shall be radius times 50% of the degree of the curve divided by 2, and the length of the curve is equal to 100 minus distributed to 100 times the intersection angle times the degree. If known at the time of the design, show the side of the weight of the rail proposed with the turnout weight of the rail, type of the construction, welded rail, jointed rail, and the proposed track with the existing track with which proposed the track diverges. The rail weight is unknown. The statement of the minimum acceptability rail section, 100-pound yard, shall be shown in the drawing. This industry should know that based on the market available, larger rail section, the frequently available, the lower cost of the smaller rail section. Additionally, even the larger rail section may be reduced the track maintenance cost of the industrial over the time. Also note the control coal rail shall not be used in industrial side tracks. Plan should include the top of the rail subgrade profile of the entire proposed track shape, showing the vertical curve at the point of the vertical section with the proposed length and station location, ground profile, drainage, and structure. Profile should also include the top of the rail profile, existing track that should be proposed to diverge with the elevations taken at every 100 feet of the distance of 300 feet each for the side of the proposed point of switch. Where the super elevated curves exist, the top of the rail elevation of the low rail shall be the given elevation. All proposed track must have the same grade elevation between the point of switch and the end of the switch ties at the track of which they diverge. Plan shall show the size of the type of the location of all proposed existing drainage structures, ditches, immediately vicinity proposed existing track, how drainage will direct and protect the track. Station's horizontal clearance with the center line of the track must show the structure of the obstruction of 25 feet of the center line of the track. Station of vertical clearance measured for the top of the rail, high rail, and curve that must be shown in all overhead obstructions. Some track layouts may require separate model detailed drawings or information. Example of these: bridges and box culverts, large drainage structure, tunnels, unloaded pits, and the track structure facilities, handling hazardous material structures, wire with less than standard clearance for the road crossing protection pipe, devices, piping, crossing, wire crossing, and conventional track, construction track, the other crossing, closed proximity, CSX track, encroachment, or CSX transportation right of way purchases, release of land, CSX transportation. Some of the information from the station, milepost, rail weight, and etc. must be obvious and obtainable with the field survey. The industry or the contractor should contact the CSX Transportation Industrial Development Site Design Manager or the engineering officer responsible for the territory involved with the feature for any of the information regarding these items. CSX Transportation engineers can also provide information guidance regarding any special feature situation that may exist on the site. Alright, we're going to go do some clearance diagrams now for chapter 1. Let me back out of this. Alright, this shows your general, this is your standard specifications and private side tracks. Alright, here's the track. This shows your center line of the track, your signals to the right. Industrial side track with a loading platform. This is track centers, verticals and horizons, and horizontal platforms and signals. This shows the roadbed sections, typical cut section, typical wet cut section, typical fill section. Ladder outside rail. This shows the curve, the main track sidings of a heavy tonnage track, a compacted sub-ballast 12 inches. Main track sidings, heavy tonnage track, interior yard trail tracks, and interior ladder outside tracks. Alright, this shows the typical cut section of a roadbed section and grading for industrial track turnout sections. These are the gradings and the signal lines, the turnouts in the cell. Also with a cross section of the rail. Alright, this is number turnout and cross out rail bound in magnesium frog for use of the 136 pound routing rail. Right-handed turnout. Alright, this shows the offset diagram, layout diagram, the crossover of 15 foot, the crossover of 14 foot tracks. Alright, this shows the number 10 turnout and crossover rail-bound magnesium frog at 136 riding rail. Plan of the right-hand turnout. Your number 10 offset layout diagram, railroad magnesium for the 136 Reading rail only. Offset diagram, rail layout diagram, crossover 15 foot, crossover 14 foot track centers. Our 11 foot vertical lift derail, shows the end of the rail chamfer, the typical bolt nails, this is. And transportation, legend, sidetrack symmetry, industrial building, track A, plan, mileposts. Pigway. Is my way, or the pigs on the highway. Bonding arrangement, loading, unloading tracks, bonding arrangement for all the filling stations serving rail motor coaches, intermodal combustion locomotives. Alright, then it's on this part 2 construction. Sorry, I was listening to Limp Bizkit.